Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. Hope you are all well and safe and having a great day. My day's been pretty good. Somebody asked me if I would do a pastel drawing or a pastel painting in Corel Painter. This is what I came up with. Let's find out what I thought to the pastel brushes though. It's occurred to me that I've never really painted in pastels in Corel Painter, and somebody asked me, I put a post up the other day saying should I do this in pastels and watercolour. Not this particular painting, another photograph, and somebody says can you do it in Corel Painter, and I thought, well, I'd already done that painting, or I'd already planned to do it. I think I did it in Critter. I can't even remember now. So I thought I would do another one in Corel Painter, and this is the scene I'm going to paint. It's a special K taking a photograph. I've created a little palette here, called it Pastels. I've got a 6B pencil in there. I've got a soft razor and a hard eraser. I've had a little play around and I discovered that the paper makes a massive difference to getting a realistic pastel effect. So I'm using handmade watercolour, and if I pull down the textures there, you can see it's the second one along, and I've added this to my palette because if I can't come back another time to do a pastel, I'll know straight away that that's the painter I want to use. And then I've got a series of pastels that I intend to use in this. I've got a real fat chalk, square hard pastel, variable width chalk, dual charcoal. I think I'm going to make a lot of use of this one. Dual charcoal pencil 2 it's called. And then a blunt hard pastel. I haven't got any blenders. Maybe I should add a blender. Let's have a quick look what we've got in blenders. Right, I've added the coarse smear blender, so I've got everything I need now to get going, and I'm using this salmon pink colour, vibrant colour. I've put that on the canvas and I've created another layer. I'm going to try not to paint on that pink, but I'm going to start off with sort of grey colours. Let's start off with the real fat chalk, give us a decent sized brush and just sort of get some sweeping marks on here. Let's turn that marching ant line off. I want to leave some of this pink shining through. I'll vary the colour up a little bit. Don't know how much detail I'm going to put in on a special K yet. I haven't really decided. This lovely water coming in here. Big horizontal strokes. It took a little. It wasn't straightforward to just pick pastel colours with. I was surprised actually. It took me a little while to set it up and get the right brushes, the right paper and everything. Whereas if you pick something like Artrage, Procreate, Critter, with the Atelier brushes, it seems straightforward. You just pick the brush and away you go. With this, I felt I had to do quite a bit of setting up to start with. Making sure I'd got the right brushes. They didn't, I don't know, it just seems that with Critter and all of the other software, you just choose a brush and away you go and everything's sorted. But it did take me a little bit more while, a bit longer, to just get a feel for just setting this up right, especially with the paper. I was thinking these brushes are not good at all, and I changed the paper, and then it totally changed how the brush responded and made a huge difference. Let me show you. If I just choose, I've got a handmade or a sort of a canvas. Something like this, and it looks really mechanical and wrong, but you wouldn't draw on a canvas, would you? I can just touch that content to get the right paper back. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it took me by surprise that I had to put a bit more effort into just getting it just right. I think I need some keep the brush strokes bold, and do I need to just take the eraser, soft eraser, and just get rid of that texture bit? Use that eraser. Sometimes it does lag a bit, changing the size of a brush. Well, size of a brush, and also a brush that. But when I'm painting with it, it seems fine. I just don't like that texture too much. I should have just sort of undone it straight away. Back to that fat chalk. Pick up some of that dark colour. Right. A bit of a brown. I still want to kind of keep these colours muted for now. I should just get the canvas covered, I think, and use this as like big sweeping strokes. Notice I was probably a bit too big. We're getting a bit of a sort of a mechanical repeat pattern going off there, which I didn't like. I've not used a pencil for any sketching in with this one. I've just sort of gone straight in with it. I don't know if I'm going to pay the price for that later. Don't know. We'll see. Let's rock over here. Let's just change this brush up a bit. That's what we got now. Square hard pastel. This might be quite nice for just sort of chiseling out those rocks a bit better. Yeah. So this is the square hard pastel I'm using now. Just want to go back to the chalky one, the real fat chalk, just to get in this bit of this dark colour here. Maybe even pick some of this blue up. Put that in there as well. Bit warmer. There we go. I never really thought about this pink colour, other than I sort of opened up the colour palette for adding the lights, and I saw that and I thought, oh yeah, let's go for it. Let's do something a bit funky. And I never really give it any more thought about what colours I was going to put underneath it or anything, or over the top of it, I should say. And I just kind of went for it. There we go. Let's get into the greens of the trees a bit. I want sort of muted greens. I'm not a massive fan of pure bright green, to be honest. I always think it looks like I see a lot. I go to a lot of sort of amateur galleries, you know, looking at sort of art clubs and stuff like that. If ever I see an art club exhibiting anywhere, I always go and have a little look. And you can bet your life there's always loads of trees painted on leaves and stuff where they've just taken a green straight out of the tube, and it just looks like all the trees have had a dose of radiation, and these vibrant colours, and not anything like nature. Not that, you know, mine are. I'm not saying that. I've got purples and things and stuff going off. I've got to get rid of this sort of red. I suppose it's a bit too much. That brush, look at this. Let's zoom in. You can see it's got this mechanical look to it, repeat pattern. It's a square on pastel, so I can't really use it that big. Let's just undo that. Make it a bit smaller. That's better. Maybe a bit bigger than that. Yeah, that's about as big as I can probably go with this brush. Certainly adds a little softness to that harsh soft chalk, whereas I guess the idea is that the soft chalk scrapes over the top of the textured paper, and this pastel fills in a bit more of the grain, I'm guessing. Which I quite like. I don't know if I'm going to use all of these pastels. I picked them all out because I did try them all initially, and I like the look of all of them. This one down here is quite nice. The dull charcoal pencil 2. Oops, tad big there. Let's just come up here a bit. You put on light pressure and you get these very soft marks, but if you apply a bit thicker pressure, it really does give you sort of a real block of colour, which I'll use a bit later on for the detail. Perhaps it's perhaps not quite what I'm looking for right now. Let's get back to this square hard pastel. I keep wanting to use this square. Oh, the square bracket keys. Now that's interesting. On this brush, it doesn't lag. On some of the brushes, it gives you an enormous lag, and it's not a good way to change the size of your brush. But on this one, I quite liked it. Pick a bit of blue. Just have a little bit of blue poking through those clouds. Like that. It was a funny day. It was sort of cloudy like this 1 minute, and then the sun would come out, create absolutely awesome textures on the trees and stuff. So it was you didn't know what you was getting all day long. It was really, really nice. I'm going to go back to the chalky brush, the fat chalk, just line it up a bit, and then I can just put a bit of texture back over that again. See? That's we're getting the right amount of red shining, glowing through now. It was just too much before. I wonder if this brush, how this performs. Yeah, that's okay. That's cool. The square bracket one works alright on this brush too. Let's just take the coarse smear is the brush I've used just to get a bit of blending into the sky, just to soften off some of these sharp edges a bit. Right, that'll do for now. I think I'll come back to that. What's this? Let's try this variable width chalk. This looks interesting. What's this gonna look like? Let's try it on the trees. I don't know if it looks a bit more like an airbrush, doesn't it, this one? Light pressure, you get those nice thin lines, but I'm not so sure about the thick stuff. It looks more like an airbrush, so I'm not going to use that just yet. Just keep stepping back. I think that's as far back as I can go. So the dual pencil blunt odd pastel, what's this going to give me? Changing the paper has definitely affected all of the brushes, and they're not doing. I could change the texture. What's this texture up here? I want to sort of try this one. I want a real coarse. No, it doesn't work, does it? As soon as I can see that. Oh, I've got to move the layer. That was. I just wanted to zoom in. You can see the texture. It looks, it's quite cool, but it doesn't fit, does it? Let's undo that. There. I think we're back to. So, I keep moving that. I think the pastels that are working best for me are the top two, the real fat chalk and the square hard pastel. So I'm going to stick with those for now. Stop messing about. Oh, and change my paper back. Nearly. Vary up this colour a bit. I really am. I do struggle with greens, and I like to get blues and purples in there. Just not a massive fan of green. Put a little bit of light sort of coming in there. Maybe there too. And a bit there. Like that. Right, I'm going to crack on a bit now, because if not, this video is going to be really, really, really long. So I'll be back in a bit. Right, it's time to put in Special K. So I'm going to add a new layer. There we go. And I've got two new layers. I only need one because if I get it wrong, I can move it about a bit, zoom in a little bit, maybe a bit more. Oh, there's a guy there throwing a stone. I wonder if I could put him in as well. I don't know. Oh, a bit too big. That'll do. And I'll enlarge the canvas a bit. So there we are. Right, let's use this square hard pastel on my new layer. Let's pick a colour. Let's pick one off the canvas to get in Special K. I'm just going to try and get in a rough sort of silhouette, really. can't seem to get a really nice organic brush like I've got in Critter with the Digital Atelier brushes. They're just not. But then, you know, these are just standard brushes in Corel Painter. But having said that, the price of Corel Painter, you'd expect their standard brushes to be stonkingly good, wouldn't you? Really, not sort of average, which is, you know, these are nothing. This one isn't nothing to shout home about, really. Right, the lightest lights are going to go here on Kerry, maybe, and on this rock. So just to draw you to that. I suppose the darkest darks should go there as well. Let's get that blender. Just want to soften that a bit. Set. I don't know if I want to do much more to this. Am I there? Is it finished? I think it is. I think it probably is. Let me get it signed. Oops. I could sign it with the pencil, couldn't I? Ooh. I must have made the brush really big. I did. Oh, we've gone back to... doing something. Come on. There we go. All signed. Just zoom out a bit. I just feel like Carrie's hair is like Steve's hair from... Is it Steve? I'm not sure if it is. From a character from Stranger Things. The one that was working in the ice cream parlour in season 3. I thought I got her hair a bit like his. Very 80s. So I just need to not have it like that, I think. I can. That's a bit better. There we go. Finished. Pastels in Corel Painter. They were fun, but I have to say, not the best pastels. I have to prefer the pastels in Critter. Even the default pastels which come with Critter. So, considering Critter is free or a donation, and this is 300 and something pounds. Says a lot, doesn't it, really? Not too impressed, but you know, I'm very happy with the end result. I just felt I had to fight my way to get to it, whereas with Critter or Procreate or Artrage or any of the others, I don't. So yeah, there we go. That is it. That is my demonstration of using pastel brushes. Did a little bit of pencil work on the end of that, and I thought that looked quite good. Demonstrating pastel brushes in Corel Painter. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, a big thumbs up as always is much appreciated, and if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I've got lots of videos like this, and I would love to be sharing them all with you. And don't forget, everybody, keep painting, stay safe, stay sane, and hopefully I will see you all in the next one. Bye.